Hello out there and welcome to Peter's online tutor. Today we shall be looking at mathematics. Now we have a question on the board. It reads, a square has side 10 centimeter. A smaller square is drawn inside by joining the midpoint of the sides. What is the area of the inner side? How do we solve this question? Let us go. Now we have a square. Now, this is a square, all right? And then they said each side is 10 centimeter. Okay, of course, you know that all the sides of a square are equal. Okay, now let us get the midpoint. Say this is the midpoint. Okay, the midpoint. All right, now let us join the midpoints together. Okay, now we have formed a smaller square inside the bigger what? Inside the bigger square, all right? Okay, now from here we are asked to find the area of the inner what? Of the inner side. Okay, now from what we are having here, please take note. Now if here is 10 and here is the midpoint, it means here is 5 centimeter. Okay, here too is 5 centimeter. All right, now here is 5 centimeter. Here is 5 centimeter, 5 centimeter, okay? And then here too is 5 centimeter, here is 5 centimeter. Now, take note, this is 90 degree, okay? So from what I'm having here, now if I take this triangle, all right, and then I call this side what? The longest side, since angle 90 is facing here. Now that happens to be the what? The hypotenuse. Am I communicating? Now let me call this place x. Okay. Now if I use Pythagoras theorem to find x, be x squared. I'm using what? Pythagoras theorem now. X squared, okay, is equal to the sum of the squares on the other what? On the other two sides. Is that clear? Good. So this is x squared equals, now 5 squared is 25, 5 squared is 25. So x squared is equal to 25 plus 25 will give us what? 50. So if I take square root of both sides, okay, my x is equal to what? The root of what? Of 50. Of course, 50 is not a perfect square. Okay, so what do we do in this case? Now, take note of this. I can break this what? 50 down, okay? So it's going to be x equals root what? 25 times 2. All right, so x is equal to root 25 times what? Times root 2. And that gives me what? 5 root 2. Okay, x here is what? Is 5 root 2. Am I communicating? Good. Now, remember, we are asked to find the area of the inner side. All right, so if here is what? Is 5 root 2, okay? Here too is 5 root 2. Here too is 5 root 2. Here too is 5 root 2. So the area of the inner side, area of the inner, okay, of the inner side of the square, okay, will be equal to 5 root 2 times what? 5 root 2. So that gives us what? What is 5 times 5? That is 25. Okay. And then what is root 2 times root 2? That gives us 2. So 25 times 2 gives us what? 50. Am I communicating? So 50 what? Centimeter what? Squared. So the area of the inner side is 50 centimeter what? Squared. Thank you.